Hello, fellow freelancers. Where is the camera? There's the camera. Hello, fellow freelancers. Hello from quarantine. This is day 5, I think, of quarantine, and I haven't gone crazy yet. I don't think I have, but we'll see how that goes. But more importantly, check this out. I got a new microphone. Actually, I got it a while ago, and I never got to try it, so now I'm trying it. So hopefully the audio's okay, because I know the lighting is all weird because, anyway, I won't get into it. The lighting's bad in all my videos. Anyway, I actually wanted to do more videos like about life in quarantine and how quarantine is going, but then I thought it had nothing to do with this channel, so I might let it go. Maybe I'll do some stuff in the community section or something like that. But this video has nothing to do with that. In this video, I actually wanted to talk a bit more because I've talked about this before, but I kind of wanted to give an update on your personal website. As translators, should you have your own personal website, and how should that work? And I want to mention it because my sister, who has her own channel, I can link to the video here below, on freelance consulting, she talks about having your own video, she talks about having your own website, and she says that you should. And I say that you shouldn't. So who's right? Well, let's get into it a bit more. Because I say you shouldn't, and then I actually got into a discussion in the comment section of one of her videos with someone else who also said you should, and they both made some good points, and so I wanted to bring those up. Usually what I say is because some people, more than you'd think, delay getting started as a translator because they tell themselves, I should have a website first, and so they want to wait to make a website. Unfortunately, making a website is usually hard because you have to hire someone. Most of us don't know how to make websites from scratch, at least not ones that look good. And so we hire someone, it'll cost us like $1,000, it'll take a month or two, it takes a lot of planning and this, that, and the other, and so at the end of the day, we get nothing done. So I tell people, never delay getting started because you don't have a website. And then I go on to say, look, you have LinkedIn, you have pros.com, Translators Cafe, what have you. You can set up your profile there, and the good thing is, everyone's used to looking at those profiles, especially if they're in the industry. They're used to looking at pros and Translators Cafe and whatnot. And that website is going to have a lot better SEO than your personal website will ever have. And so why even bother with a website? Just use that as your website, as your calling card, as your online business card, if you will. And you don't need to worry about a website. And that's pretty much what I've been saying and what I tell people. The argument that my sister and this other guy are making is that actually, if you want to be professional, you should have your own website because it's your own business and that's your calling card and that's where people will find you, and it shows also that you are serious about your business. And he made a good argument there. Basically, when he commented, he said, look, not everyone is on LinkedIn. In fact, for us, it's very natural to be on LinkedIn because we as freelancers are used to marketing ourselves and we know we need to be out there and meet people. But let's face it, a lot of people in the corporate world, even a lot of people who run their own business, but just like aren't into marketing or something, they might not be on LinkedIn, or they never use it much or anything. So you having a LinkedIn page doesn't do much for them. But if you have your own website, they're more comfortable with that, if you will, because they know that businesses have their own website and they have their own website. And I can see where he's coming with that. And so I kind of wanted to give a bit of a caveat. So first of all, if you are starting out, I reiterate, and this hasn't changed, don't delay starting out because you don't have a website. You know, you can start off with your profile on LinkedIn, pros.com, what have you, and there it has all the information, it's all standardized and everything like that, and so you're good to go. Now, once you've started kind of getting some traction, gaining some scratch, like you have some cash to reinvest in your business, and you decide, okay, I want to take it to the next level and I want my own website, then, you know, usually I've been telling people, no, spend it on something else, don't spend it on a website. But now I think I've been persuaded a bit to say that, yes, if at this point you want a website, you absolutely can make one. But you should keep a couple things in mind. First of all, your website is your business card. It's your online business card, and you should treat it as such. What does this mean? It means that it should clearly show what you do as a business in as few words as possible, if you will. Obviously, with the website, you can click around on the services section, contact us, this and that and the other, but it should be very easy to find. Now, there are a couple things you should keep in mind with your personal website. First of all, is what's called Jacob's Law. This is Jacob's Law with a K, Jacob with a K, you can look it up. Now what Jacob's Law says is, here, let me read it to you verbatim. Users spend most of their time on other sites and they prefer your site to work the same way as all the other sites they already know. So what does this mean? This means that most users spend more time on other websites than on yours. So when they come to yours, they want it to look somewhat familiar. If it starts looking all over the place or a bit weird or odd and they don't know where to find stuff, they're going to click off. And I say this because a lot of people want to get creative with their own website and show how they're different via their website. And I generally don't think this is a good idea. For instance, you go to a website, usually the menu is on top where it says about us, services, contact us, and all that stuff. I would say to do that. Don't put it on the side or somewhere weird because people won't find it or get weirded out and they'll just leave. Also call it about us, contact us, or some variation thereof. You start giving it weird names, again, people don't really know what they're looking at, and so they leave the website. It's very easy to leave the website, especially at the beginning when you first find it. That's almost your instinct. So you want to reassure them with something familiar. So just remember Jacob's Law. The other thing you need to remember is it needs to be updated. If you have a website, make sure it's up to date. If you have a blog, it needs to be up to date. You can't have something dead. It's like, and there's nothing worse than going to a website that hasn't been updated in years and you can tell it hasn't been updated in years, maybe with dead links or images that don't load or something like that. That's worse than not having a website. It's like when you go, some businesses have Facebook pages, you go to a Facebook group or a Facebook page and it hasn't been updated since 2013. It's like that. And that tells you right away, okay, this person is not in business anymore. They don't do any type of business and they're not available and they'll click off. At that point, I would say it's better not to have a website than to have a website like that. So just make sure it is always up to date. And, but yeah, otherwise, by all means, make a website. It needs to be professional looking as well. And so you should either hire someone. You do have you have these places now where you can make your own website, and I mean from WordPress to Squarespace, and I know places like Wix lets you do it, but if you get the free version of Wix, it has that Wix thing right up top, which doesn't look very professional in my opinion. So it might be better to hire someone, and that will put you back a couple $100, $1,000, whatever it might be, but at least it will look professional. And then, at that point in time, just make sure it's up to date, which means if you have a blog, make sure the blog is being updated. Otherwise, don't have a blog. If it's too much of a hassle or a chore to update it, don't have a blog. And then remember Jacob's Law and make sure that the website, while you can use your creativity and make it look cool, it has to look at least familiar to people who are looking at it. And that's pretty much it. And so I still reiterate that you don't need the website to start off, but once you get going, maybe it's okay to have a website. Just make sure that you follow those criteria. And feel free to let me know your thoughts on websites. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on my new nifty microphone. And feel free to let me know your thoughts on what I should be doing during quarantine, because I've got, I think, 10 more days of this. So that's pretty much it, and I will talk to you next time. Okay, thanks, bye. Savedum.